Yeah, when I was little, I was like wanted to ask you this question. It's a two-part question.
Okay.
In your honest opinion, do you think the Dragon Zord could beat Godzilla?
I think, my honest opinion, Dragon Zord is Godzilla's son or something. They made him with some, I don't know, but Dragon Zord is like, looks like God, I'm not too sure, but...
Then the second part would be, if Godzilla and Mechagodzilla teamed up against the Dragon Zord, would you still be there?
Would I still be there? Those are the questions as a little kid I'd be like, well, buddy, I'm not too sure. Thanks for watching. Yeah. Good questions, though. But you know what? I'm glad you asked, though. I am. And you got a question ever since you were a kid, you know? You never know. You get a chance to ask me. Half my staff in Texas that work for me, they're like biggest fans of mine. One kid, Jordan, he's on MySpace, and he's like, I'm his hero. And all the guys that work for me is like, they're like super big fans, but they don't say it, though, you know? But they know everything. Like I told Jordan, I said, hey, Johnny Bosch is going to come visit me. He's like, oh, snap! Translation, I guess it's cool. I'll get you guys back there. I'll get you next. Yes, sir.
Back during the original series, do you remember the episode where it's called Return of the Green Ranger? It had the White Ranger versus the Green Ranger.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, my thoughts on that? I like that episode. It's just, that was actually filmed during the movie because on our off time we shot episodes. So, you know, it was like, okay, now you have off time, let's go shoot episodes. So my thought was like, this is my break, man. But actually I liked that episode, it was pretty cool. It was good. You know, my brother passed away about 6 years ago now. He's a really good friend of mine, and I know there's a lot of rumors on Ranger Board and all that stuff, but he had a pretty rough life, but he actually played my brother on the show. You know, brother kind of spear and arrow, who was actually my brother on the show. So that was my real brother on the show, so he was pretty cool. I just got him the job, you know, my brother lived a tough life, you know, and he lived the bad side of of life, and I got him a job, right, and then he got the job and all that stuff, and then his head blew up, like after 2 episodes. He's like, you know what, man, I want more money. I'm like, don't even start, dude. Don't even start. That lasted about 6 episodes, and people were too scared to fire him, though. You know, Jonathan says, you gotta tell your brother, but my brother was a little wild. My brother said, if you fire me, he's gonna put Nair in your hair, and every day when you wake up, you'll have no hair, and you'll think of me, and everyone's like, well, I don't want to fire him, you fire him. My brother was a little like that, though. He's pretty off the wall, but he was my real brother. I mean, that was my real brother in the show. So.
It's a plot, brother.
And my brother, I'd read newspapers in my local towns and around, and he would just, you know, do appearances as me. You know, and I don't know, because I don't think we all look that much alike, but he would pull it off. People stand in line, oh, love your show, man. He's like, thanks, bro. Thanks, you know. I'm like, I'll call him up. He's like, well, I got $3 grand, dude. I'm like, I understand, dude. I want to do an appearance at Safeway, you know, supermarket. So it was pretty funny. It was wild times with him. I know someone back there with the hat. Go ahead, sir. Yes?
Yeah. Well, because you were on the show, I was just wondering, because did you get privy knowledge, like, were you known, like, way in advance that the Green Ranger would turn into the White Ranger, or did they just, like, you knew way ahead of time?
Yeah, they did. They gave me the option, you know, again, with VR Troopers. They told me what was going to happen to the White Ranger and all that stuff. And, you know, with VR Troopers, and I was like, that's fine, man. I'll, you know, do VR Troopers and stuff. But I knew in advance what was happening on the show. You know, they'd always talk to me, stuff like that. Me and Saban, we had a close relationship. I think just because he didn't want me to get an agent, but we had a close relationship. But he would let me know what's going on with the show and all that stuff. And, you know, so, and we didn't do a lot of appearances, you know, because we were paid not to do them. I didn't want to do appearances because I was too busy, you know, my off times. But I made him think I wanted to do them. I'm like, man, I'm just going to go out there and book. He's like, oh no, we'll pay you. Yes, hold on, I got to call. Yes. We'll be done in a little bit. Anyway, so it was all right. That's why I didn't go out there and do a lot of appearances. But I did know in advance what was going on. So, except, well, Dino Thunder, I really didn't know what was going on. There was times I was hired in New Zealand, and there was episodes I wasn't even really in. And I was in another country, so I trained at a boxing gym, David Tuha's gym, with someone by the name of Shogun Campbell. And I just spent time training with him, you know, so, yes?
I was just wondering where exactly in New Zealand you filmed.
I don't think New Zealand's Auckland. Yeah, I don't think it's all that big, but Auckland. Yeah, that's where we film. You know, New Zealand, they don't show Power Rangers over there. So no, they don't show it at all. So that's why like they film over there. I mean, you imagine Power Rangers running around, helmets and monsters, and all the kids are like, you know, and they have like really no clue. Now they can get satellite and all that stuff. I'm not saying they're just like here, but they don't play it. It's just not popular. They don't show it in New Zealand. It's too violent over there. They just, you know, they don't. There's no guns in the country, so you can't get. You don't get afraid of getting shot. You can cut someone off, and you know what can they do? Just do this. They can't shoot you. Haha! You don't have a gun. You don't have He's got a gun. Anyway, just kidding. But they don't have guns. They're like a non-violent country, except, you know, you go over there and then they got the rugby. So you go into the local bars and you cheer for the other team, and then real quick you can get out. Yes, sir?
If there was an episode of Power Rangers you could marry and have never been
If there was an episode where I could
just make disappear out of existence, that episode did not happen.
an episode that I could just get married and disappear. I think I kind of disappeared already, you know what I mean? It's just like, I disappeared when I left. It's like, how, I mean, here's a power coin. There we go. You know? It's like they could have thought of something better, but, you know. And then I remember I don't know if you ever remember, I had a Band-Aid on my face. Yeah. Do you remember that episode? I never explained why. On that episode, I was always like, oh, well, I was at Grandma's house and blah, blah, blah. Actually, I was in a mosh pit. And I was listening to a band, a friend of mine, Shavo, has a band called Symptoms of a Down. And I was out there in Los Angeles listening to their band. That's before they hit pretty big. But Shavo was a friend of mine. We were mosh pitting and we got even crazy. And I remember I told the producer, and he's like, what happened to your face? And I'm like, I was in a mosh pit. He's like, mosh pit? What is a mosh pit? I'm like, you know, you jump around, you dance around, slam people around. He's like, why would you want to do that? That was kind of like everyone was doing it at the time. So I had to put a Band-Aid on my face and could never say anything about that. I'll get you in the back right there and I'll come to you, sir. Yes? Yep.
When you were doing scenes like fighting actions, would people play music in the background, like the action music while you were doing a scene?
No. No, it's just silent all the time. You know, in fact, even at dances and stuff like that, it's just like this. You know, that's why we're all off beat. They think white people can't dance, but it's just because they don't give us music to dance. But I can't dance anyway. I'm just telling you. But it's just no music, and then they just dub the music in later, you know, and it just seems to work, I guess. Okay, I know I said two. Who would I say? Oh, yes, sir.
I know you did signings yesterday, and it's okay if you can't, but it's possible if you can sign two.
Yep. I have at 12 o'clock right after this, in about 5 minutes, I have an autograph signing. I got those free 8x10 pictures still of all the Rangers from the episode where I was in the hospital and stuff like that. So it just got the 3 Rangers on the side, pretty cool pictures. But just so you know, when I go places, I do get free autographs. I never charge for my autographs at all, anywhere I ever go to. And there's a lot of people that do. I just don't. I just feel that if I'm happy to have my fans, and at least we can do is give you a picture, you know. So that's one thing I do when I travel around and stuff like that. I know someone back here had a question. I'll get to you in a second. Yes, sir.
Did you get to keep any items from the show?
No, they're pretty strict on that. Pretty strict. I do have a Black Ranger suit at my karate school though, all framed out. Yeah, I had to wear that out of set underneath my clothes. Okay, guys, see you later. What's wrong with you? Nothing, man. Goodbye. Take care. See you tomorrow. Just waiting for something to go pop. Oh no! But I do have that. I have my Jetty outfit. Unfortunately, man, they don't give us stuff, so, you know, I mean, I'm not stealing it, I'm just my suit. The only thing I couldn't do was fit the helmet unless I was like, I'm pregnant! That ain't gonna work. See you later! Thanks, Power Rangers, but that wasn't gonna work.
I'm going bowling.
Yeah, that's right. Going bowling, yes.
Speaking of dancing, there's also singing. I remember one episode in Theo where you and Tanya were singing any stories from that episode, where you basically had to sing all your lines in the episode.
I don't remember singing.
I do.
Was
That's
I?
very annoying.
I was singing?
Yeah.
I
There was a spell that made you sing. You were some kind of music.
Oh, why can't I do that? That opera thing. That ain't singing, man. I was like, no, we can't let him go.